Hey, it's Nate here again, and welcome to this installment of Guitar Foundations. Be sure to go over to natesavage.com if you need to pick up a copy of the ebook to follow along, and be sure to subscribe to this channel and like the video. That helps get the word out and make sure that you won't miss any of the videos in the series. Anyway, in this video, we're going to be taking a look at a very important topic: tuning your guitar, specifically tuning your guitar with an electronic tuner. The next video we'll take a look at tuning by ear, but a lot of people kind of underestimate how much skill is involved in particularly tuning a guitar by ear, but tuning a guitar in general. So my advice to you would be to treat this just like any other skill you're going to learn on the guitar. It's going to take some time, but the more time and effort you invest into it, just like if you're learning a new chord shape or learning a new strumming pattern, the better you'll get at it and the easier it'll come. So we're going to use a two-step tuning process for both tuning with an electronic tuner and tuning by ear. And it doesn't matter which electronic tuner you have. Most of the ones out there nowadays are pretty great. The little Snarks or Korgs are really great for like 15 or 20 bucks. I have a TC Electronic Polytune that I've had forever. I love it, but you can use anything. The two-step process goes like this. Get the string to the correct note name it needs to be. That's step one. And then step two is fine-tune that note to where it is perfectly in tune. Now, in order to be able to do this, you need to have a few concepts down, and these are going to seem pretty simple, or at least they might seem pretty simple to you. The first one is the idea of the natural musical alphabet, and that's just the first 7 letters of the regular alphabet: A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, just in order like that. This is important because you need to know which direction a note is going. If a note goes up, like this is an A note, if it goes up, it's going to go to a B, and it goes in order there. If it keeps going up, it'll go to a C. If it keeps going up, it'll go to a D, and so on, just in alphabetical order. Let me put this back down. You know what, I'm just going to go ahead and screw this guitar all kind of screwed up, just so we can have like a good starting point for learning how to tune the guitar. Anyway, the next thing that you need to know are the names of the open strings on the guitar. You have to have this memorized. It's going to help you a lot, not only when you're learning how to play things on the guitar, but it'll help you get your guitar in tune really quickly too. So this is the first string, the thinnest string, and the thickest string is the 6th string. That may seem counterintuitive for a lot of you, but that's just the way it is. And for some reason in the guitar community, everybody always starts with the 6th string and memorizes the names of the notes that way. So that's what we're going to do, just because that's the way you're going to see things out there a lot. So the easy thing to remember is the outside 2 strings are E's. So you already have a third of the guitar memorized, right? And when I was first learning the names of the open strings on the guitar, I had a mental block or something when I was like 13 years old. I was like, oh, this is just too hard. I'll never be able to remember it. But finally one day I said, I'm sick of this. I'm going to memorize the names of the strings. So I came up with some acronyms, or an acronym to go for it, and it was eat all day, go to bed early. You can use Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie, or any other funny thing that you need to memorize the names of the strings. But it's great to know them both ways: E, A, D, G, B, E, and E, B, G, D, A, E. So from the 6th string, the lowest 6th string, again, you want to memorize that this is E. The next thickest one is A, D, G, B is the second thinnest string, and then E again. You just really get to get them down so well where you don't have to think about it. You can just say, okay, that string right there, that's a G, or this is an A. All right, the next little concept that you need to be aware of before you get into actually tuning the guitar is the idea of a note being sharp or flat. And a sharp sign looks like a little hashtag or a tic-tac-toe sign, and a flat sign looks like a lowercase b. And if we say a note is sharp, we just mean that that note is too high in pitch and it needs to come down a little bit. So you hear how that came down? That would be sharp going to flat maybe. And then if we say a note is flat, we mean that the note is too low in pitch and it needs to come up. And this brings up a good point. A good point of experimentation for you on the guitar, just to get to know your instrument. Take your guitar, hit any note on it, and just play around with the tuning peg. Go up and down a little bit, just to get a feel for how it works. And that leads me into 2 tips I want to give you before getting into actually tuning the guitar to help you avoid breaking strings as you learn how to tune the guitar. Number 1 is always make sure you're turning the proper tuning key for the string you're trying to tune. So for example, if I'm up here and I'm trying to tune my high E string and it's a little low, but I'm actually turning the wrong key. If I'm sitting here turning my B string and I'm turning up, but I'm hitting my high E string, you know, and I'm just tuning the wrong key, what's going to happen is I'm going to go way too far. I'm going to be like, why is the string changing? What's going to happen is you're going to go too far and you're going to end up breaking a string. So be really aware of that. Like if you're trying to tune the E string, follow it down and make sure you're using the right tuning key for that string. Same thing if you're tuning the G string, make sure you have that G string tuning key. Follow it down and make sure you have that G string tuning key instead of the B or the A. Another tip for not breaking a string is if you think you're going too far, you probably are. So what I would recommend doing is just stopping, backing off, and starting over. That'll keep you from breaking a string too. All right, let's get into this two-step tuning process with an electronic tuner. Your tuner may look different than this, but that's okay. The idea is gonna be the same. It's gonna have like a center point that's probably green, or if the needle was in the middle, the light will be green. And if it's sharp, if the note you're playing is sharp, then the needle will be off to the right, or the lights will be off to the right in red probably. And if it's flat, if the note is flat and needs to come up, the needle or lights will be off to the left, and you'll need to adjust it from there. More about that later. The first step, again, is to match whatever string you're trying to tune to the correct note name. That's what was so important to memorize the names of the open strings. So let's start with our low E. Hit that, and that should be an E. My tuner is saying it's a D of some kind. So that's telling me it's too low, because if you have the natural musical alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, D is before E, that means it's too low. So what we need to do is find our tuning key for our low E, hit that note, and tune up until it hits an E, and there you go. It just told me that it's an E. So step one complete for the low E string. The next step of the two-step tuning process for getting our low E string in tune is to fine-tune that E string until it's right in tune, perfectly in tune. So what you do is you hit that, and you need to just decipher by your tuner if it's low or flat and needs to come up, or if it's sharp it needs to come down. Now the needle or the lights are off to the left, so that means it's low or flat, and you need to come up until it's right in the middle. There you go. And a lot of times what will happen is you'll overshoot it and you'll have to come back down. But one secret to tuning is always try to tune up to a note. The guitar just likes when you come up to a note, it's just more stable. So if we overshoot it, come back down and go right to it. And it takes some time to get good at the mechanics of, making a note go up or down, just how much you want it when you hit a note, like that. So don't worry if you're not great at it right away. It'll come with anything, just like with practice, just like anything else on the guitar. So the next note, what's the name of this string? It's an A, right? The fifth string. So that should be an A, but it says it's a G. And when you get to the end of the musical alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you just go back around to the beginning. So that G needs to come up to an A, and there you go. It's an A. So now that's step one for the A string. Now you need to just fine tune it until it's right on the money. There you go. And this will take some practice, but you'll get good at it pretty quickly. Now, oftentimes on different tuners, the note will kind of jump around like sharp and flat, and you're like, what's going on with this? And when that happens, I like to hit the string over and over again, and it makes it a little more stable. Just makes it easier to tune it. There you go. Next string, D, just that two-step tuning process. Hit the string, make sure you look down and you grab the correct tuning peg there. So it says it's a C, A, B, C, D. C is lower than D, so it needs to come up. Okay, it's a D. And now we need to do step two, refine it to where it's just right on. Okay. I'm pretty sure I tuned some of these sharp up here earlier, so we get the opposite situation coming up. Go to the G string, and it says it's already a G. That's great. So step one is complete. But it is off a little bit to the left, so that's telling me that it's a little bit low. It needs to come up. And again, if you think you're going too far, just back off, start over. But that's good, that's right on the money. Okay, next string should be a B. And our tuner is saying it's a B, so follow your string down, make sure you're grabbing the right tuner. But the needle's off to the right, so that means it's sharp and it needs to come down. So And I should also mention here that different people who've had different levels of exposure to music find it easier to match pitch and, you know, hear if a pitch is going up or down than other people. So make sure, one thing that you might want to do is sing along with the pitch. It may feel silly, but vocalizing something like that can really help get you better at matching pitch, especially when you start tuning the guitar by ear like we're going to do in the next lesson. Okay, so dial that in. Oh, see, I went too far. So I'll come back down and come back up to the note. There you go. And the last string should be a D. The last string should be an E. It is a D right now. So come up. Okay, it's the right note, so step one's done. Now we have to fine tune it. Needle's off to the left, so you need to bring it up to where it's perfectly in tune. Now that's pretty close, but what usually happens when you tune a guitar with an electronic tuner is you do it once, and then because this is made of wood, different tension on different strings that are different thicknesses create, you know, different effects on the wood and pull it in different ways. So I always go back and do it again. See, my E string's a little low. So I always tune twice, at least twice. Measure twice, cut once, right? So now that sounded pretty good. I'll probably go and do one more fine tuning run through that. But a lot of times people ask me, Nate, how often should I tune my guitar? A really good practice to get into is at the beginning of each practice session, the first thing you should do is tune your guitar just to make sure it sounds good, and also to practice tuning the actual guitar so you'll get better and better. And eventually you'll get to the point where you'll be able to pick up a guitar, strum it, and be like, oh, this needs to be tuned, or this, you know, it's close enough for a practice session. Or if you're recording or something like that, or doing a video, you definitely want to make sure it's as in tune as possible. So that's it for this video. Again, learning how to tune the guitar can be a little bit frustrating at first because it's a new skill that you have to develop, and it's not the easiest thing in the world, but if you put in the effort, just like everything else you're going to put effort in on the guitar, you will get pretty good at it pretty quick. But what happens when you don't have an electronic tuner handy? How do you tune the guitar? I'll show you that in the next video. If you have any questions about this process, you can leave them in the comments below or email me, Nate@natesavage.com. I'll see you later.